What do you mean? What do you mean no juniors? I'm a junior. Hi guys, what is up? Good morning. It is Wednesday. I'm going to my second of 3 days of career fairs today. Yesterday I talked to a lot of great companies, but today is really like the big day where most everyone is here. So Ashley and I are both going to the career fair today. Our schedules are a little bit misaligned, so we'll probably see each other in passing. But I think I might try to bring my camera if possible and get some footage of the career fair for you guys. So yeah, it's super crowded, super packed. Whoa! That's the plan, Stan. So I'm going to get ready to go. I have my resumes printed out, a list of businesses that I'm going to speak to, hopefully. There's always huge lines on the huge businesses, so we'll see if I get the chance to talk to them before they leave today. Yes, I do have a position at my dad's company, but something that he's taught me is that it's always better to have too many options than too few. So I'm just out there trying to see what else is there in the world. I want to keep my options open. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into one area. I definitely want to see what else I can do at this stage of my life with my degree and my experience, and just kind of know what's out there and know what else, you know, I can have in my back pocket one way or another. Sorry, I dropped my paper. So yeah, today I'm just wearing a blue shirt tucked into black slacks and my pointy shoes. And that's it. I got to go. I gotta go hand out my resume and grovel for some jobs. I'm kidding. Just, you know, let my personality shine. It's always shining. Oh my gosh, you guys, after this weekend, my skin has never looked this bad in my life. It's really stressing me out. That just goes to show, like, once you start eating clean and not really drinking, when you go out to drink just for one night and you eat a McGriddle the next morning, sorry Taylor, you really pay a toll for that. It's rough. It's definitely not worth it. We woke up in the next couple of days, we didn't feel very good, and we were like, why did we do that? No, just no. I will let you guys know how this goes today. Should be good, should be a lot of companies. It's not as hot and it's stopped raining, so I'm gonna go now. Ooh, I'm excited. Anything else? Oh, look at this. I got a little portfolio yesterday to hold all my stuffs. How beautiful. And here I got, don't mind that, I've got all of my applications and some information from different companies. So Amazon emailed me back this morning and they said, hey, so the recruiter that I talked to, I was like, are you really gonna hang on to my resume? Like, you've talked to so many people today, is this really beneficial? And he's like, honestly, yes, I'm going to write a note on your resume, set it into a certain pile, and you will hear from me today. And I did. They emailed me last night and asked me to apply for their area manager job position. So we will see how that goes. It comes down to, for me, so I'm applying to all these companies that I'm interested in, and for the most part they're all in locations that I like. However, the location that they say on their website is not always the location that the job will be in. So once you get a chance to talk to them and you kind of get to the interview stage, that's when I narrow it down based on location, is it somewhere that I want to live, and pay. So we will see how this all goes. It's my second really round of career fairs ever. My first one was last year in the spring, so I'm a little bit rusty. We all have like a 2-minute elevator pitch where you just brag about yourself basically. So that's a little awkward at first. So I would recommend starting with like a company that you're not super interested in, getting one round of practice, and then moving on. Things are going very well. Very happy with it. I will keep you guys posted. Goodbye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading.
Don't mind my janky folder.
Here's the map. So each of these little numbers is a company, and as you can see, there's hundreds.
Yeah, there's a bunch. So I didn't get a chance to go to GM. There. I need to find that. You might have to help me.
Okay.
You be like the stage mom and talent here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in the background.
Us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Junior, is that a junior?
Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number. Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go. Through the waste.
Oh, hey.
Grandma butt.
Grandma butt.
Grandma butt. I'm so sweaty.
I know. That was rough. You're long. 150.
Shoulder, it's
I'm getting a drink. Getting a drink.
Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
TGIF. So I think that you should never pigeonhole yourself until you really get some real world experience, because you might absolutely love it, you just didn't know what the job role really was. So I love the idea of a rotational kind of introduction to the company, because not only do you get that experience for yourself, you have a better understanding of the company from different aspects, and it's really important to have that well-rounded view of the company before you even start in a role. The quote that I really love is basically, I don't know how the quote goes, but it's the moral of it is basically, it's not very important for a farmer to understand the position of a king, to understand the life of a king. But it's incredibly important for the king to understand the viewpoint of a farmer. Do you see what I'm saying? So as you work your way up in a business, you need to understand your role and the roles beneath it. Because if you're directing people, you should understand their viewpoint. You should have empathy for them. So that's why I really like the idea of trying out different positions, and as I move up into leadership roles, I can understand them very well because I've been there before. And I think it also gives you some credibility to say, look, here's what needs to be done. I know why it's a struggle, or what struggles you might face, but here are ways to overcome it based on my understanding of your position. So, anyways, moral of the story, if you can get into a rotational internship or introductory role in the company, it's great, especially with a huge company like Stryker, Google, Microsoft, any of those obscenely huge companies. It's a great idea. Some tips for going to interviews or career fairs or different call-outs of that nature. It's good to dress business casual. They say that career fairs, that environment is business casual, and then when you go to the interview is when you wear your jacket and you dress it up a little bit. It's also very good to research the company and understand what their environment is, what their culture is, and what they wear, because the goal, I don't care what anybody says, when someone is interviewing you, talking to you, the goal isn't to see what their qualifications are. That's not the only goal. A huge goal of a recruiter is to figure out, are you going to fit in with our company? Is your personality going to mend well with our culture? That's huge. And I had someone say that to me. It was a healthcare consulting company. She said, look, I love to hear about your qualifications, and like, it's very important, and they're all spelled out here on your resume. But to me, it's more, is your personality a good fit? And right away, I knew when we first started talking that you'd be an awesome match for our company. And I was very flattered by that, of course, but it also reminded me, I don't need to take this 2-minute elevator pitch to talk about myself and my qualifications only. I also need to let my personality shine and interact with these people and kind of show them who I am more than just what I am on paper. Because they can read that at any time, but they're not going to be able to talk to me other than this short amount of time that I have. So it's not about wowing them with your expertise. It's more about making them feel comfortable with you and feel like you can fit well with their company. Another thing, so people, this is not a good hiring technique, but it's like 90% of the time, especially young recruiters, they're looking for someone like them. So if you're face to face with a very bubbly person, give the people what they want. So you're sitting in an interview, this person's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, tell me more about this, and this. They show a ton of excitement. You need to kind of try to match them, so match their level. Whether they're super bubbly, you're like, yeah, oh my gosh, I know, I'm so excited, this and that. You match them, so mirror them, okay? If it's someone who's very laid back, very professional, asking you questions, you want to respond to them in the same tone, in the same seriousness, because people are looking for people like them. It's not a good hiring technique, but it's the most common because it's a natural instinct, you know? I know I fit well with the company, I know I've been successful, so I know that I want someone like me. That's what my professor basically has told us about, is that he made that mistake before, is looking for someone for the same qualifications as him, same background, same leadership style, because he knows it's been successful. Of course, there are other methods and there's other people that are successful, but recruiters, they want to stick to what they know. So match them. And as you are talking to them, use subliminal messages to get them to agree with you. This is the art of persuasion. I sold cars. I know a lot about the art of persuasion. So as you say, I know this is what you're looking for, and this is what you need. Trust me, this is what you need. Do you see these big motions that I'm doing with my head? You don't want someone that's gonna stand out from the crowd in a negative way. You want someone that can make an impact, but also be part of the team. See? Okay, of course you're not gonna nod your head that much. That's a little excessive. But as you do that, you know if you have someone on the hook, if they start kind of nodding their head with you. This happened all the time when I was selling cars, and I learned this from a colleague of mine. He's someone that trained me, and I look up to him. His name's Brian Green. He taught me how to use these motions, and once he pointed it out to me, I knew that I realized I already had done it subliminally, but when I did it with intent, and I would say, look, you could get a $10,000 car, but that's not something that you want. And then their heads start to go like this. And I know that they are on the same page as me because they're following my every move. That's something to pay attention to. It's not all about the things that you're saying. 90%, this is not a true statistic, but let's just go with it. 90% of communication is based on this unspoken language. Unspoken cues. So it's maybe not the things that they're saying, but the way that they're saying them. It's their body language. Are they engaged? Are they not giving it a crap? Like, you can totally tell someone's engagement level, their intensity. You can tell a lot of things about a person by the way that they look. There's facial expression, their body language. Body language is huge. So learn different things that you can do so for example, it's not always about raising your voice. So if you want to talk with your hands, okay, don't take these videos because I get kind of passionate on camera, so I'm like this. But use hand signals with intent. You know, you don't want to use your entire conversation using your hands. When you're, laying out a process, for example, you said, I started here, here's what I did, and then I moved here, and I moved to this, and this is where I made a huge impact. Use your hands with impact. Also, the level of your voice. Sometimes raising your voice super loud and being passionate about something can be effective, but also if you lean in and you lower your voice and you talk with a serious tone and you say, look, this is what you want and this is what you need, and I know that we're a great match because whatever reason. And honestly, there's nothing that I would want more in this world, and there's not a better fit for me than this company. You can change your level of engagement, and it's not always obvious. Lowering your voice, bringing them in, having them come in and listen to you can also be very powerful. Another thing with interviews is that silence can also be very strong. A lot of us get really nervous, we talk really fast, we get fidgety. But if you take a second and breathe before you answer questions, be thoughtful. And having silence doesn't mean that you're taking too long to answer. It means that you're thinking, if you use an appropriate amount of silence. Now, if you're sitting there like this, okay, that's weird. If you take a second to think, look up, think about it, think about your answer before you spew out information. So you can nod your head and say, take a second to think. There's nothing wrong with that. Silence can also be strong. Use silence effectively. If you look at the best speakers of all time, Obama, for example, not to be political, but he's a great speaker. And you'll see that he uses pauses and hand gestures at the perfect time because it's very effective and it has a lot of strength to it. So in an interview, don't be afraid to use those dynamics in your speech. Don't be fidgety with your hands. If you are like this and you're nervous the whole time, put your hands in your lap. Don't fidget. Don't play with your hair. If you have hair where for me, I know that a nervous tick is to run my hands through my hair. I don't know why, a lot of girls are that way. So it is important to have your hair out of your face. And if you are a nervous hair toucher, put it up in like a ponytail or a clip. That can be super helpful because the last thing you want is to be fidgeting with your clothes or fidgeting with your hair. Which brings me to another point. Your clothes should be comfortable. You shouldn't ever buy business attire that you're uncomfortable in, that's too tight, you have to move it around. You don't want anything that's gonna portray you in a negative way. Like, for example, you don't want to be wearing a really short skirt. You don't want to be wearing a shirt where the buttons are, like for me, I have, you know, some volume up top, and so my shirts that are button ups, see, I get too excited. My shirts that are button ups can sometimes gape at the chest, so I either safety pin it shut or I just wear a bigger shirt. I mean, you should be very conscious of the way that people perceive you, because first impressions are huge in an interview. The minute you walk into the room, the minute you see them, you smile, you make eye contact, shake their hand with a strong handshake. Don't squeeze the life out of them, but you don't want to be a limp fish, okay? Trust me, that is the worst thing you could possibly do. So have a good, strong handshake when you meet someone. Make eye contact with them. Don't be shy, don't be coy. They asked you here for a reason, be confident in that. They talked to thousands of people and they chose you for an interview. And that's true for any case, probably. So go in there with confidence, know that they want you, and just be comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable with your own abilities. Like I said, they chose you for a reason, and you know that you're a candidate that's very strong and that you could easily be fit for that position. So, confidence. 1, eye contact. 2, presentation. Present yourself well. Clean hair and skin. Low-key makeup. Don't wear anything too crazy, too trendy. You want your hair. Basically, the point of it is just don't be distracting. They're looking for someone who could walk in front of a customer or a client that day, or who could walk into the office and fit in. You don't want to stand out in a negative way. Now, if you want to stand out by being super intelligent, very qualified, able to communicate very well, that's great. You know, that's something that you should absolutely do. But don't stand out in a negative way by wearing a sexy outfit or, you know, beautiful, like, voluminous hair. That's not the key in your first interview, in your first interaction. Remember that and be confident in yourself. They're here for you. You don't need to be desperate or nervous because they're looking for you. You know, it's all about, they're here for you. It's all about you. So if you're in any type of career fair, any school, or any type of call out, wherever you are in your career, just remember that you're a resource and they're looking for you. You just need to have the confidence to be yourself, and you are good enough. You're more than good enough. I think that sometimes our self-consciousness gets in the way of that and allows us to forget our true value. I mean, whether or not you have a degree, whatever your work experience it is, like your life leading up to this point has added so much value, whatever it may be, that, you know, you just need to have the chance to let it shine through. Just be confident enough and it will just come out. So confidence is key. Well, my refrigerator just made a really strange noise. One last tip in a career fair, you have a 2-minute elevator speech. You don't need to do it word for word everywhere you go, but practice it. Focus on your main points that you want to hit. And then when you go, have your first table be someone who might be a random company. Go to someone who you're not like seeking after, someone that doesn't have a line. Just walk up to them and give them your speech and practice on someone who's not the mirror, right? So, you know, getting that practice in, warming up, right? It's like a warm up. It's like stretching before a game. Like, just go warm up, talk to someone, get the juices flowing, get the jitters out, and there you go. You're ready to start your day. And that's like a very common thing that people do. Another thing that is so funny, I learned this in my entrepreneurship class last year. These 2 women own a company where they teach people how to talk, and I can't remember exactly what they do, but they develop leaders, basically. And one of the things that she taught us was power stances. So when I'm in line, this sounds so funny, but it is a chemical, biological reaction, okay? So when you're in line, I literally did this, I'm not kidding you, I did this, and it actually made me so much more confident because it's a chemical reaction in your brain. Because it's like it's like a predatory standing your ground stance, like it's a power stance, that's what they call it. Sometimes they say do the starfish, which is like this and your legs are out. I will never, and you better never do that when you're in line. But like, people, like, they told us that people, before they give speeches, they will go into a room where there's nobody, or like a bathroom or something, stand like this for like 3 minutes and they're ready to go. I don't see myself doing that. But a power stance is to stand with your feet apart, you know, shoulder width, not like, hey, but like something that's like discreet in line. And your hands like on your hips and your shoulders back. And this is a power stance. So this literally chemically gives you more confidence. Like, it is not just in your head, it is a chemical reaction to standing this way. And it affects your brain, it affects your body. So when I was standing in line before I talked to companies, I would stand like this. And there were so many people around that who would even notice that some girl looked like Wonder Woman? No one. Slow down your breathing. And it lowers your heart rate and you feel calm. Like, that really does calm you down and it gives you some strength. I'm serious. Like, this is a scientific thing. This is not me making it up. I literally just did it and it really did change my demeanor. I just love the brain. I've never done an interview where I wasn't offered a job. So I would say that that's pretty successful on my behalf, just based on the things that I've learned through school, things that I've learned through personal experience, and just my personal communication style, I guess, is very helpful. I think that moving around a lot in my past has made me very comfortable talking to new people, comfortable being in new environments, so that certainly helps me. When you move around, see, you have this comfort zone. This is where you grew up. This is your home. Move around, you're totally outside this comfort zone. You have to make a new one. But when you move every 8 months for like 4 or 5 years, your comfort zone does not exist anymore. So it hurts me in the sense that it takes me a long time to really set roots anywhere and really submerge myself into an environment because my natural instinct is to not get too attached because I could be somewhere else shortly. So it hurts me in that sense, but from this standpoint, it gives me a huge strength because I know that, you know, I'm not uncomfortable in that situation, or I know how to talk to new people. I know how to be outside my comfort zone, outside of my clique. You know, I don't have one anymore. I would just say, overall, be happy, be confident, and just be yourself. I know that's like the golden rule of life, but really, be yourself because you're more than good enough. And if you can just remember that and just relax, you're gonna stand out from the crowd just because your confidence will exude if you are just relaxed. So, those are my tips. Bye guys, see you later.